I think it's time to bring in our guy,
Yay!
Zac
Yay!
Stevens. Stadium today. That was a huge win from the Denver Broncos and a huge game from Bo Nix.
Yeah, an absolutely monster game. And guys, Rookie of the Year conversation is definitely heating up with Bo Nix. Entering this week, he was plus 1,400, had the second best odds to be the Rookie of the Year. Jaden Daniels was a big favorite, minus 1,400, but the gap just got so much smaller. And I wouldn't be surprised if Bo actually takes the lead after this, because we need to stop with the Rookie of the Year conversation, or we need to really ramp it up. But Pat Surtain said, no. It needs to be even crazier than that. He said in the locker room, Bo's playing at an MVP level right now. And I'll tell you what, it's hard to disagree with that. Certainly when you look at today, 300 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, 85% completion. No, Sean can't handle how good Bo was in this game because he had a career game in passing yards, in touchdowns, in completion percentage, 145 passer rating. Now, will he enter the MVP conversation? Of course not. He's going to have to do this for the rest of the season to really get there. But when you take a big step back since week 3, Bo has like a 7.5 to 1 touchdown to interception ratio. That is insane. That is actually MVP worthy. Now, obviously, he has to have more games of 3 and 4 touchdowns in order to enter that, but that's just how good he's playing right now. Pat Surtain said he's him. He is him, and boy, does this team 100% believe in Bo Nix, just like No Sean does, right, No Sean?
Hey, if he keeps on doing that, for sure. Love it.
I'm going to do this for No Sean. Hey, let's leave that talk out of it. We ain't there. We ain't there. MVP ain't there. We ain't there. He's definitely having a hell of a season, but he ain't there.
MVP not there. That's fair. That's fair.
What do you have for us from that Broncos locker room after the press conference? Did you hear from Sean? How do you feel about Bo's first 300-yard game? Was he excited? Was he nonchalant? We know, Sean could be all the above.
Yeah, well, we know, especially after wins, Sean typically is more critical of the team. After losses, he builds them up and tries to keep their morale high. After today, come on, guys. I mean, you win by 32 points. You put up 38 points on offense. You don't allow a touchdown on defense. There was nothing for Sean to be critical about. So this was a rare moment where Sean, you could tell he was thrilled after this when he owns the NFC South 4-0. He beat the Saints. He beat the Falcons. He beat the Panthers. He beat the Bucks this season. And there's no better division for him to do that against his former division. He was asked about that in the post-game press conference, and he took a minute and said, I could make a smart comment right now, but I'm going to decide not to. So he almost gave us a viral moment, but didn't after this. And he's thrilled with Bo's performance. And when talking about it, he said, you have to see it in order to be confident. You have to do that in order to feel like you belong. And he said, Bo belongs. And to me, there's just absolutely no doubt about that right now. And that's why he's going to shoot up and maybe be the favorite for the Rookie of the Year. He feels so comfortable. And what's so encouraging is he just continues to take steps every single week. Obviously, the stat sheet really displayed that this week, but he did it with the eye test last week in Arrowhead. He did what needed to be done to get that win over the Chiefs. Obviously, we know how it ended there. And then the Broncos said, we're not going to leave any doubt. We're not going to leave it to a final field goal, just like the Bears tried to today and missed. No, they weren't leaving it to that. They were going to absolutely come out swinging. And that was the thing that Sean Payton pointed to that he was proud of the most from this game, was the way the Broncos responded in that loss to the Chiefs. Many Broncos players in the locker room just told me, man, we beat the Chiefs. We felt like we had that absolutely ripped away from us. There wasn't that much talk being that bold about it during the week. But Sean said, man, we prepared incredibly well this week. And we knew that the key to this game, No Sean's going to like this one, Jarrell's going to like this one too. The key to this game was winning the rushing battle. If we were going to, that means we had to stop Bijan Robinson, who Sean, man, just spoke, gave tons of credit to Bijan. He's a really talented back. But the other key was then also being able to run the ball. And today was Javonte Williams' day. Just as everyone was counting Javonte Williams out, he goes and runs for over 6 yards per carry. Jaleel and Audric Estime kind of take a back seat, even though, I mean, Audric Estime is still leaping over guys out there. So Sean said that was the key, and that's the thing he was the most proud of, was the way this team responded.
Definitely, and not just the run game, Zach. I think he did a good job of setting up those screenplays. I think he did a good job. Got 2 touchdowns off the screenplay, which was a great key. And those are like runs, right? You get to catching the ball behind that scrimmage, and you're taking them down the field. I think that was huge. But the biggest thing, I think, what was the biggest factor in the week, and what did you see on that sideline over there that got those guys so riled up on the defense side of the ball, where these guys held them 50, talking about winning the run game, they had on the 50 yards rushing the whole game. What was the difference today than it was the last couple of weeks, where these guys was letting these guys run for 80 to 100 yards a game?
Yeah, Gerald, they changed their mindset. They wanted to be the bullies. They didn't want to get bullied, and man, did that front seven really take that personal. And especially, I think it started with Sean and Vance's message throughout the week of, look, if we want to win this game, we have to stop number 7. I did not feel like I was watching a top 5 running back in the NFL, a top 5 pick. Number 7 with Bijan. He looked incredibly average. And watch, next week he's probably going to go out and run for 100 yards against whoever the Falcons are playing. The Broncos made him look so average today, and that was just so key for this game. And you could tell that the defense just took it personal. And they said, look, we held the Chiefs to 16 points last week. We should probably win that game when you hold Patrick Mahomes to 16 points. We're not even going to let the Falcons get close to that. And to not allow a team to get in the end zone, I mean, I don't have to tell you guys, you three all know how hard that is. It's just an incredible feat, especially for a team that moves the ball so well. The Falcons had the 5th most yards in the NFL entering this game, and boy, did the Broncos shut them down. And I think it was really key. Bo Nix said the most important play of the game was that first 3rd and long. When the Broncos didn't get anything on 1st and 2nd down, they had a 3rd and 9. Bo steps up in the pocket, hits Courtland Sutton for a first down. Broncos go on to score a touchdown that drive. Broncos go on to score a touchdown in 4 of their first 5 drives. And then on the defensive side of the ball, it was that first, because it was that first drive when the Falcons enter the red zone, and it's like, oh man, is this going to be a shootout? Are we looking at 31-30 in this game? And then the Broncos held them out of the red zone. That was a huge moment for this game. And then the defense really never looked back and only got better from there on.
Yeah, for sure. I love it, Zach. But hey, I mean, I'm just going back to the run game again. I know you talked, said that Javonte did a good job today in the run game. I think he did. I mean, 6.6 average on the ground. But, bro, it's still not enough for me, Zach. And why only 9 carries? I just don't understand. Yeah. They're spreading it around maybe too much. And if he's averaging 6.6 carry, why not feed him a little bit, especially when you're up late in the game like this? I just don't understand. I think it's still mediocre play for the running backs for me. And why are you seeing that? Why is that?
That's totally understandable, no, Sean, and especially coming from a running back. You see 6.6 yards per carry. This guy should be getting 150 rushing yards, and yet he's still limited under 100 rushing yards. Broncos still don't have a 100-yard rusher, and probably since you played, no, Sean. And it's but that just shows. I think Sean wanted to help Bo out here with these numbers and really build this confidence, because when you look, but credit to Bo and Sean, they got everyone involved in the passing game. I think everyone that stepped on the field got a catch here. And as Jarrell said, they also use Marvin Mims as a running back a ton, and they use that screen game to really supplement the running game here. 2 of the exact same play, the exact same screen pass, scored a touchdown for Troy Franklin, scored a touchdown for Marvin Mims, and you really saw Sean get into his bag in this game. I thought this was probably the best game that Sean Payton has called from an offensive perspective, probably in his entire career with the Broncos. So we're talking about over almost 30 games here. I thought he did a fantastic job really using Marvin to create space. I mean, how about that pass where he's coming out of the backfield and then Bo just drops it right to him? That was fantastic. Also using Troy Franklin a little bit like that. And we're finally seeing Marvin Mims be utilized like the 2nd-round pick that he was. I mean, it seemed like they had just turned Marvin Mims into a pure returner until last week when they started to line him up as a running back. I think this is just going to be a staple of the Broncos offense, is a smaller guy and Marvin Mims acting as a running back.
Yes,
I think so, man. I think it's going to be a good thing for the Broncos offense. And we always asked about like how Marvin Mims would be used, and it seems like they found a good niche for him now, and I think it's going good. If you guys love us and you love Zach, calling in, you got to give us a thumbs up. But Zach, I want to ask you about the defensive side of the ball. Who did that? How you do that? That's new?
He said, "How'd you do that?"
I like it. I like it.
Did I spark that? Did I spark that, or was that you here?
Wow.
That's
no,
Mac activation. Oh, that's fine.
That's
fine.
amazing.
Let's talk about the defensive side of the ball a little bit. Nick Bonito having a 2-sack game. Malcolm Roach having a sack. Jonah Ellis having a sack, playing against his brother. Talk about the defense and how they were able to get after their Kirk Cousins today.
My goodness. I mean, when you just like I felt like I was saying about Bijan Robinson, how it just did not feel like they were going up against the top 5 running back in the NFL. It did not feel like they were going up against a top dangerous tight end, a really deep, good receiving core. Drake London, it looked like he was maybe going to have a huge game in the first quarter, and then he disappeared the second, third, and the fourth quarter. And guys, I know Broncos country got a little uptight when the inactives came out, when Brandon Jones was not going to play, because that meant Devin Key was going to play a big role in this game. 2 weeks ago when he played a big role, we obviously know it was a tough game for Devin. Devin's name wasn't called once today. So credit to him, credit to the rest of the secondary for stepping up, PJ Locke, Pat Surtain, Riley Moss, because they just eliminated this high-flying passing attack and rushing game that the Falcons have. So credit to Vance Joseph as well. He deserves a ton of credit in this win. Again, you guys know more than I do how difficult it is to keep a team out of the end zone, but it was just this mentality. Bo said after the game, man, right when that Chiefs game ended, we wanted to stay on the field and play another 4 quarters because we felt like we were kind of robbed in that game. And he said they just kept that hunger throughout the entire week, and you could really see it on the defensive side this week.
All right, well, thank you, Zach, man. We appreciate your insight, and we can't wait to have you on your show tomorrow at 11 a.m. And we'll see you at 11, man.
Right on. See you,
Appreciate
fellas.
you,
Thanks for
Zach.
having me on.
That's my guy.
Appreciate you.